I will never forget the day my South African mother-in-law stood in my doorway and smiled at me. Not a friendly smile, a knowing smile, because 3 days earlier, I had paid a witch doctor 10,000 to destroy her life. But instead of her collapsing, it was me who couldn't get out of bed for 2 weeks. My name is Naomi, and I tried to bewitch the wrong woman. What happened next didn't just humiliate me in front of my entire family, it exposed a spiritual power I didn't know existed. And today, I'm going to tell you everything, because if you're watching this, you need to know, not everyone can be touched by witchcraft. And when you come against someone protected by a power greater than yours, the consequences are devastating. Before I tell you how it happened, you need to understand 3 things about spiritual warfare that most people don't know. Number 1, not all spiritual power comes from the same source. Number 2, protection is stronger than attack. And number 3, when you send darkness to someone covered by light, you become your own victim. Now let me take you back to where this all started. The day I decided my mother-in-law had to go. Now let me also tell you, so you understand why I wanted her gone. My mother-in-law wasn't just difficult. She was controlling, manipulative, and she had turned my husband against me. From the very beginning, she didn't like me. She never said it directly, but every woman knows when another woman has a problem with her spirit. It started with silent tension. Then small comments. Then disrespect wrapped in smiles. She would say things like, "You are trying. But you are not yet a wife. Don't relax. My son hasn't seen his real helper yet. You people from here don't understand marriage. We, South Africans, build differently." She would correct everything I did, criticize every decision, and shame me indirectly. My husband always said, "She will come around. Just give her time." But time only made it worse. You see, she controlled our finances. She moved into our home without asking. She told my husband I was a bad wife. And on top of all, she practiced her own spiritual rituals in my house. What pushed me over the edge, what made me seek out that witch doctor, was what she did at our family gathering. And when you hear this, you'll understand why I snapped. It was at a family gathering in Accra. Her brother was celebrating his 60th birthday. I was sitting quietly beside my husband when I heard her loud voice across the table. She wasn't arguing, she wasn't fighting, she was just talking, but every word was a knife. Some women are not meant for marriage. Some are just holding space until the real wife comes. Everyone started laughing, but I knew who she was talking about. Then she added, "I will personally make sure my son marries well. I didn't raise him for nothing." She looked straight at me as she said it. I looked at my husband, expecting him to defend me. He didn't say a word. My own auntie was there. My heart burned that day. I swallowed pain and embarrassment in front of everyone. That was the moment something changed inside me. That was the day I told myself, I will not be the loser in this story. I decided to fight. And my first mistake was thinking the only way to fight her was spiritually. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking, she has to go. She has to leave my life. And that's when I remembered something my friend had told me months earlier about a powerful witch doctor in a village near Tamale, in the northern region of Ghana. 2 days later, I made the decision that would change everything. I called my friend to talk more about the native doctor, and she did. The man was, she said, he was deep, that he worked with ancient spirits and never lost a battle. To reach him, I had to send a token first, 300 Ghana cedis mobile money, just to open the way. Without thinking twice, I sent it. 3 days later, I was on a bus to Tamale. I didn't tell anyone. But I lied to my husband that I was visiting my family for 2 days. I took a taxi to the station and I joined the night bus ready to go to the north to meet the witch doctor. The moment I walked into that place, I should have known something was wrong. What I did smell at the place was like incense, blood decayed with the mud. Also, I did see candles, bones, strange objects. To be honest, the place felt like darkness itself. Fear gripped me like something, but I was desperate and determined at the same time to see it through. But now, I know, I should have just returned home. The witch doctor looked at me and said, he had consulted the spirits and they have agreed to help me. But in helping me, there is something I will need to do in order to be able to fulfill whatever I want. That I was supposed to sleep with him that same day, or else, it won't work and I might go mad if I leave the shrine. So, I actually ended up sleeping with the native doctor on top of the money I paid him. He told me it would cost 10,000 Ghana cedis. He said within 7 days, my mother-in-law would either leave my house or fall seriously ill, which will eventually lead her to her grave. But then he asked me a question that I ignored. A question that, if I had listened to, would have saved me from everything that came next. He asked, does this woman have spiritual protection? Does she pray? Does she go to church? I laughed and said, yes, but her prayers are nothing compared to your power. He looked at me strangely, paused for a moment, but he took my money anyway. The ritual began just before midnight. The witch doctor's assistant dragged a clay pot between us and filled it with charcoal fire. Thick smoke filled the hut. He threw something into it and suddenly, everything smelled like rotten blood mixed with incense. I felt dizzy, but he told me not to move. If you faint, you die, he warned. He placed my mother-in-law's photo on a wooden board and pinned her headscarf beside it. Then he brought out something wrapped in black cloth. When he opened it, I froze. It was filled with bones, human bones. The witch doctor laughed at my fear. You asked for war, he said. War requires sacrifice. He picked a fowl, twisted its neck, and poured the blood over her picture. Then he turned to me. Give me your left hand. I pulled it back slightly. Why? I asked. Revenge requires a witness, he said. Your blood will call for justice. Before I could react, he grabbed my wrist and slashed my palm with a razor. Blood spilled into the fire, and the flames shot upward like they were alive. That moment changed everything. He began chanting. Black powder was thrown into the fire. Flames roared higher and higher until they turned blue. The air thickened. The shadows in the hut moved as if alive. Then, he called her name. My mother-in-law's full name. I don't know how he knew it. I never told him. Where her feet walk, let confusion follow, he chanted. Where she smiles, let sorrow answer. Where she sleeps, let darkness visit. Then he turned to me. Say after me, I bind her life to my command, and I release destruction against her. I repeated the words. In that moment, something entered me. I can't explain it, but I felt a cold river run through my body. My heart slowed. My skin tightened. I felt powerful, but empty at the same time. Like something had just been taken from me. He said it was done, and in 3 days, she will begin to fall. He handed me a small black charm and told me to bury it at my doorstep. It will carry my command to her. I left that place feeling like finally, I was taking control of my life. I had no idea I had just signed my own destruction. For the first 3 days, nothing happened. My mother-in-law was fine. She was still in my house, still controlling everything, still treating me the same way. I started to think the witch doctor was a fraud. That I had wasted my money. But on the 4th day, something changed. Except it wasn't her who changed. It was me. On the morning of the 4th day, I woke up with a sharp pain behind my eyes. It felt like someone was driving nails into my skull. My body felt heavy, like I had carried cement bags all night. But I told myself it's just malaria. I took painkillers. It didn't stop. By evening, my nose started bleeding. No reason. No sickness. Just blood, pouring like water. That night I tried to sleep, but I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I was not alone in the room. I heard footsteps walking around my bed. One thing that was surprising is that every time I looked at my mother-in-law, she would smile at me. That knowing smile. Like she could see right through me. By day 6, I couldn't get out of bed. My body felt like it was on fire. I was sweating, shaking, and blood started coming from my nose. My husband wanted to rush me to the hospital, but I refused. Because I knew no doctor could fix what was happening to me. On the 7th night, I saw her. Not my mother-in-law. Her spirit. She stood at the edge of my bed, staring at me. She didn't speak. She didn't move. She just watched me, with authority. With calmness. Suddenly, something grabbed my legs from under the bed and tried to pull me. I screamed and tried to move, but I was paralyzed. My mouth opened but no sound came out. At that moment, I felt something break inside me. The power I thought I had received had turned against me. I realized the truth. I had opened a door I could not close. By the 2nd week, my weakness grew worse. My gums bled. I fainted twice. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I stopped going to work. Neighbors started gossiping that I was dying. Then, the worst thing happened. I lost control of myself. I began speaking in my sleep, confessing my secrets aloud. My mother-in-law heard me. My aunt heard me. Even my husband heard everything. I wasn't just being spiritually attacked, I was being spiritually exposed. And that was only the beginning.
What we just heard is a dangerous reminder. The spiritual world is real, powerful, and unforgiving. When you open a door to darkness, you do not control what comes through. Naomi wanted revenge, but what she summoned turned against her. The Bible says in Psalm 7 verse 16, "The trouble they cause recoils on them, their violence comes down on their own heads." In the next upload, we will have the ending part of this story. How the spirits didn't stop at tormenting her, they demanded a price. And the price they asked for was blood. Click to watch our other uploads now, if you're not afraid of the truth. Before you go, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next part of this shocking confession. I have a question for you. Do you believe witchcraft can backfire on the person who sent it? Drop your answer in the comments.